Imagine a city under siege. London, 1943. 3 years of relentless bombing have left the city scarred, but unbroken. The nightly wail of air raid sirens is a terrifying routine. Mothers clutch their children, queuing for the safety of the underground. On March 3rd, the sirens sound again. Over 1,500 people rush to Bethnal Green Station. But the enemy they are fleeing from is not German. What happened next would become the single greatest loss of civilian life in British World War II history, and a secret for decades.
Hi, I am Ethan Cole, and welcome to Veilbreak Files. Tonight, we revisit a forgotten tragedy that shocked a nation. A disaster so horrific, the government banned all mention of it. And it happened in less than 15 seconds, without a single bomb exploding.
The Bethnal Green Tube Station was a brand new extension, already open as a shelter. It had bunks for 5,000 people, a sanctuary deep underground for weary Londoners. The evening of March 3rd was wet and pitch black under wartime blackout laws. The air raid siren wailed at 8:17 p.m. In minutes, a calm queue transformed as hundreds poured in from buses and local cinemas. But the grim truth was that the entrance was a death trap. What could go so wrong in a queue of people seeking safety? A perfect storm of fear, a confusing sound, and one deadly trip. At 8:27 p.m., a battery of new secret anti-aircraft rockets fired from nearby Victoria Park. To the terrified crowd, the unfamiliar screech and explosion sounded exactly like falling bombs. People surged forward, pressing desperately toward the narrow 19-step staircase. There was only one dim blue light bulb at the top of the stairs, and there was no central handrail to hold onto. Near the bottom, a woman carrying a baby and a bundle slipped on the wet concrete. What happened when she fell? She triggered a chain of human dominoes that no one could stop. An elderly man tripped over her, then another and another. In the darkness, those at the back kept pushing forward, unaware of the horror below. In less than 15 seconds, a pile of bodies, 5 feet high, blocked the entire stairwell. People were not crushed to death by blunt force. They were slowly asphyxiated, unable to expand their chests under the immense weight.
The final numbers are staggering. Of the 173 dead, 84 were women and 62 were children. In a single minute, Bethnal Green lost an entire generation.
The youngest victim was just 5 months old. Amid the pile, one desperate mother held her baby up to the air, saving the child's life. But she survived in a sea of the dead, her body pinned for hours. The Blitz spirit had to be protected at all costs. So Winston Churchill personally ordered a total news blackout. What reason did Churchill give for making the tragedy a secret? He feared the Nazis would use the panic as propaganda to break British resolve. The official story was a lie. The public was told the station had received a direct hit from a bomb. Even doctors and rescuers were warned never to speak of it again. Dr. Joan Martin, a young casualty officer, recalled the bodies arriving at her hospital. Wet, because they dumped them on the pavement. Mauve, because they were all asphyxiated. She had nightmares for the rest of her life.
But the censorship only hid the story from the world. It did not bury the evidence of negligence. Was this tragedy avoidable? That is the dark heart of this mystery.
A secret inquiry was held, led by Magistrate Lawrence Dunn. It concluded that the main and proximate cause was the crowd's panic from the rocket salvo. But the report was labeled most secret and locked away. If the rockets caused the panic, why blame the victims? Because the report also revealed a massive failure of the authorities. Bethnal Green's borough engineer had warned the government in 1941. He said the staircase was too narrow, poorly lit, and missing a central handrail. His warnings, which could have cost a few £100 to fix, were ignored by Whitehall. Worse still, the air raid precautions warden who should have been controlling the queue was absent from his post. It was a bureaucratic failure from top to bottom.
The full truth was hidden for decades. The Dunn Report was suppressed until 1945, and even then, the government left out the most damning details.
For the families who lost loved ones, there were no answers, no closure. Some families didn't realize a disaster had even happened until they found empty beds that night. Finally, in 2017, a permanent memorial was unveiled. Why did it take 74 years to build a proper memorial? Because shame and secrecy were more powerful than remembrance. The Stairway to Heaven Memorial now stands next to the steps where 173 people perished. It is a replica of the stairs, but open and filled with light. 173 conical holes in the canopy shine light onto the steps, one for each life lost. The Bethnal Green disaster remains the worst civilian tragedy of World War II in Britain. It is a sobering reminder that fear is a weapon and negligence can be a mass murderer. While the freedom of the press is crucial, sometimes governments make choices we only understand later.
What other wartime secrets are still buried in the archives? That is the mystery of history itself. Thank you for watching. I am Ethan Cole, reminding you that the past is never truly past.